back to the Mookie Chilson channel, and you are looking live at a cue card. And this is the outline for what I'm going to talk about with you in this video. I am breaking the fourth wall. I'm showing my notes because I want you to read along with me. And if you are one of those eager beavers who has read ahead and looked at that top line already, you know there is a major announcement coming. And this is a major announcement that I feel great about, that I am thrilled to share with you, that will hopefully involve several of you who are listening and watching to this video. But as you can also see if you've read ahead, the word tease is in parentheses next to major announcement. And so I'm not telling you yet until the end, so you're going to have to wait. So before we get there, we're going to have to show you the next item on the agenda here, which is the pickups. And these are my pickups this week. This is Al Jackson, an original New York Met. This is his rookie card and his second year card. And I got these autographs together. And I'm thrilled. I feel like Al Jackson was a guy I would have collected if I was alive in 1962 to watch those Metsies. He was about the best they had on the mound back in those days. And here he is signing his rookie trophy card. And what I say is the most beautiful card in the world, because it was the first ever to feature that blue cap and the orange interlocking NY on a cap after the Dodgers and Giants left town in 1957. So in 1962, this high number card came out, and this was the first Mets card, first true Mets card, and it was Al Jackson. And now I have his John Hancock on it. You can see he dug in there with the ballpoint pen. So I'm glad he did that, and I'm glad it is now in my collection. And I'm going to move down to the next item on the line item. So we had pickups. Now we're going to before and after. And before and after, the big card show this weekend. This weekend is the Winter Extravaganza in White Plains, New York. And this is one of those, like, major East Coast shows that probably, is like a semi-regular thing. They do an East Coast National in the summer. This is like a winter version of the East Coast National. And they have things like autograph signings and grading card submissions. And I'm going to do some autograph signings, starting with a bunch of the Mets who are there, including Bobby Ojeda, who was a Met in 1986, 17-game winner, huge star in the World Series and the playoffs. But before the season, he was a Boston Red Sox, and he was traded from the Red Sox to the Mets for Calvin Schiraldi. And as you can see, this is one of those traded cards that O-Pee-Chee made, which I love, the irony of him in his uniform with the Mets framing here. So I'll get Bobby O to sign that, I believe, if things turn out well. And the other New York Met from 1986 I'm going to talk to and get to sign is this guy. This is my man Mookie Wilson, who is just one of the most iconic Mets. And I think between him and Tom Seaver, for me, are the most iconic Mets there are. Mookie, I have met a few times and shook his hand, but I've never gotten his autograph in person. So I'll go and get him to sign this. This is a 85 Topps Tiffany card. And this is my favorite Mookie Wilson card because this is the first year that I ever went to Shea Stadium. And Mookie Wilson was in the lineup that day. And so look at him smiling and laughing and playing on the field on the precipice of the greatness that would come for him and this team and for me as a fan. And so I love this card, and I love the opportunity to get to talk to Mookie as a fellow Mookie. Although I don't think I'll tell the Mookie that I am a Mookie, but I will be really glad to meet him again and shake his hand. And so the other thing I'm going to do at this card show is do an SGC submission, which I have done at this event before. And so there are a couple cards I'm going to show you here. This Jesse Owens, what's it called? A Samel Work card. This is a 1936 Olympic card. This is Jesse Owens winning, his gold medals at the Olympics in Germany, which is just a profoundly great event and card. And I'm super glad to have this, and we'll see what kind of grade it gets. I really don't care what kind of grade it gets. I just want it protected because it's a very fragile card. It's got some damage there on the right. but I'm not worried about that. I just want it slabbed, and so I will get that. Then I have two more of these Batman cards that I love. These were in lots that I bought to help Son of Mookie build his Batman set. He has one that's already graded, and I'm gonna have one myself. I'll probably grade both of these and sell the one. I don't know. We'll see which one I sell. But this one's a little nicer, but this one's a little better centered. So we'll see how they do on the grading, and I'll probably sell one and keep the other. Then there is this one, which is my 1968 Topps Tom Seaver that I actually cracked out of a slab. The first slab I ever cracked was moments before I shot this video. This was it, an SBC 80, which I think is the forerunner to SGC. So this was basically a 6 grade. And I think it's definitely a 6 and maybe a little nicer. It's beautifully centered. It's got nice sharp corners. There is a little surface wear and the edges are not perfect, but I love this card. It's my favorite, maybe my favorite Mets card. At least it's my favorite Tom Seaver card anyway. So we'll get that graded and see what it gets. I have this card, which I picked up at a show last year. Milo Almada, who, according to the back of this play ball card, Mel Almada was the only Mexican player in the big leagues today. Started his career with Seattle in the Pacific Coast League. Yes, a forerunner of all the Mexican greats who came and played in the United States. So I love this. It's a beautiful smile, very well centered. I just love this card. So I'll get that graded and see what it gets. This card, my 1953 Bowman Larry Doby, which is, again, also in really great shape, really nicely centered. There's really not much at all wrong with this card. The corners are a little bit tipped, but the registration is somewhat off, and so I think that's probably the biggest flaw with this, but we'll see what it gets. I'm hopeful for a nice high grade, but I got this on Whatnot for $10. At the urging of Greg from Midlife Cards, I signed up to Whatnot, and this was the first card I bought there, and I'm super psyched because it's really a nice copy of Larry's card there. So we'll see how that does. And then I'm gonna see if they'll cross this over. My buddy Pete, who is coming with me to the show tomorrow, said you should try and cross that over. I think it would do better in an SGC. So we'll see if this card gets better than a 2 in an SGC slab. Again, this card is, the color is a little dim, but it's still just so beautifully centered. The corners are touched, yes, I know, but the really only flaw, major flaw, is the that gum staining on the back, which I'm kind of in love with, to be honest with you. I love that kind of like authentic, out of the pack damage. Like, come on, it's still a Mickey Mantle card. So I don't care what if they will give it something better than a 2, then I'll cross it over. But if not, I'll just keep it in that slab. And the same thing with this guy. When I bought this Jackie Robinson from my favorite dealers, the Fish family, they said they were going to cross it over themselves. Mr. Fish told me, he said, if you didn't buy this card, we were going to send it in SGC because we think it would get at least a 1 and maybe a 2. And so I don't know, and I'm not really that concerned what number it would get. If it gets a number, that's great. And again, these are cards, that and the Mickey Mantle are cards that they're just never leaving my collection. So this is for at the end of the rainbow, when I go to that great shoebox in the sky. Well, Son of Mookie, I want him to get as much as he can out of it. So we'll see how that crosses over. And so there you have it. So that's the before and after part. So we'll see how we do on that grading. We'll see if we get those nice autographs, and I will update you on the other end of this. And now it's time for the major announcement. And the major announcement is I'm going to the National. me and my buddy Pete, who are going to the Westchester show tomorrow, booked an Airbnb in outside of Cleveland by the IX Center. We're super excited we'll get there on Wednesday. I think we'll stay through Saturday and maybe Sunday. I forget which one. But either way, we're going to be there. So I will get to meet so many of you who are going in person and shake your hands and tell you how much I admire you and appreciate you to your faces if everything goes well. So I really, really, really can't tell you how excited I am to tell you all that I'm going to the National. I hope that I can fill up a social calendar that allows me to meet and greet as many of you as possible, because your support and kindness and generosity and humility and friendship has been just a revelation to me in my life and has meant the world to me. So I'm super excited to be announcing the major announcement. This is the major announcement, and I'm making the announcement. I'm going to the National. So keep an eye out for your pal Mookie. I'll probably wear a Mookie hat or something to let you know what I look like. Or I'll find you. I know what all of you look like. But that's it. That's the major announcement. So with that, let me know if you're going to the National. Let's hook up, and let's hang out, and we'll have fun and have a blast. That's it. That's the end of the video. I've kept you for long enough. Have a great weekend. Wish me luck at the card show, and I will talk to you in the next time. Thank you.